Ruben Amorim has suggested that Chido Obi Martin is firmly in his thinking for a full Manchester United debut. The young striker joined the Red Devils from Premier League rivals Arsenal last summer after putting together a prolific goal-scoring record within the Gunners' youth ranks. The 17-year-old has continued that in Manchester, with 12 goals in just 9 appearances for the under-18s, while he has also made a couple of appearances for the under-Tyrell side. Obi Martin has made so much of an impression that he has also made 3 outings for the senior side, albeit all of those have come as a substitute. He caught the eye in United's FA Cup defeat to Fulham, and asked if the youngster could make his first start for the club. Amorim kept his cards close to his chest, but did not rule it out entirely. He said, "Anything can happen in the next games. During training, we don't have a lot of time to train, but we need to see the opposition, feel the moment of the player, physically, with a lot of games, because we are going to start playing Thursday, Sunday. Anything can happen, but I will focus just on the next game. And not in that way, I'm not going to change the striker. I will just choose the best players to win the next match." While Obi Martin continues to catch the eye at Old Trafford, it appears that there is also a clamour for his services when it comes to national football. Denmark boss Brian Riemer has revealed that the striker is now under consideration despite Nigeria trying to tempt him. He said Chido is a player who has played on our U18 national team, so it has become even stronger. So I think we should say, in order to follow the right business procedures, that we just have to make sure that we do it the right way. The senior national team requires one more step. You need to come in and play more regularly before the senior national team is an option for you. It's hard to get there if you don't play regularly for your club team. United have seriously struggled for goals this season. Strikers Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee have just 5 Premier League goals between them this term, despite costing a combined £108 million. In a season of unprecedented turmoil on and off the pitch, all Manchester United now have left to play for is the Europa League. A once great club, crippled by financial problems and grubbing around in the bottom half of the Premier League, now have one shot at salvaging a season of chaos and misery. Ruben Amorim must somehow lift his players for Thursday's Europa League last 16 first leg away at Real Sociedad after the door slammed shut on another trophy and a route back into Europe. After 6 expertly dispatched penalties, United defender Victor Lindelof was the first to miss, his unconvincing spot kick saved by Bernd Leno. And when Fulham skipper Anthony Robinson scored, Joshua Zirkzee had to convert to keep alive United's hopes. But Leno saved his effort, sending Marco Silva's side through and the holders out. Amorim has now lost 10 of his 25 games in charge. A dismal return for a man who arrived as one of the brightest young managers in Europe, but who has seen that status wrecked by the reputation wrecker that is the modern-day United. Whether Amorim can turn United around in the summer, when he can start his overhaul of the squad, is open to question. For now, his immediate task is to try to navigate a way through the Europa League, although on current form, United will be lucky to make it through the next round. For Fulham, this was a deserved win. They were the better side overall, denied by some fine saves from United goalkeeper Andre Onana, and displayed cooler heads when the tie went to a shootout, their prize a home quarter-final tie against Crystal Palace. Roy Keane may not rate Bruno Fernandes as a leader, but the United skipper hauled his side back into the game with a majestic strike, cancelling out Calvin Bassey's first-half header. Fernandes scored the opening penalty of the shootout, but his heroics were ultimately in vain as United came up short again, a recurring theme this season. The visitors took the lead on the stroke of half-time, following a disputed corner, which Fernandes rightly claimed should have been a goal kick. Former United midfielder Andreas Pereira sent the ball into the area, where it was flicked on by Rodrigo Muniz and headed over the line by the exceptional Bassey. When referee Stuart Atwell blew for half-time, United's failure to score from open play in the first half had extended to 19 games. If ever a statistic underlined how insipid Amorim's side have been in attack, that was it. But the equaliser, which seemed unlikely the more United toiled, eventually came in the 71st minute, courtesy of a sublime first-time strike from Fernandes, the low, clinical finish giving Leno no chance. Onana produced a fine save at full stretch in the 94th minute to palm away a goal-bound effort from Fulham sub Emile Smith-Rowe as extra time loomed large, with both sides desperate to avoid an additional 30 minutes. United could have won the game in the 100th minute, when Alejandro Garnacho saw a shot blocked by Leno, then when 17-year-old Chido Obi sent the ball agonisingly wide with seconds left. He went close again in the first half of extra time, forcing a vital save from Leno as the game lurched to a shootout. In a season where pretty much everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for United, they came up short, once again mired in self-recrimination and regret. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows where things are going wrong for Ruben Amorim at Manchester United and doesn't believe it's fully his fault. The Red Devils have been woeful since the Portuguese coach was appointed as Erik ten Hag's successor at Old Trafford. He has won just 5 of his 16 Premier League games so far, leaving United sitting 14th in the table. A number of players have struggled to fit into Amorim's stubborn 3-4-2-1 formation so far, and Solskjaer believes the issues start from the squad being made up of stars being signed under a host of previous managers. Asked if there is too much of a sacking culture at Old Trafford by The Athletic, the Norwegian replied, "That's for the people at the top of United. But an issue is that the manager plays with the previous manager's players. I just remember a great time at United apart from the last 6 weeks. Great people, and the culture is in the people. Going back to United was like going back to my family, like I'd never been away. But Besiktas also feels like a family club, with respect for each other. There are members of staff who've been here for 10, 20, 30 years. Solskjaer, 52, spent nearly 3 years at Old Trafford, going trophyless before he was eventually sacked in November 2021, following a shocking defeat to Watford. And while things went wrong for Solskjaer with United, he remains proud of the work he did at the club given the challenges he faced. Those last 6 weeks were hard, I can't deny that, but we were also top of our Champions League group, Solskjaer added. It was the 2 games against City and Watford that did it. But I maintain that finishing 2nd and 3rd in my 2 full seasons wasn't bad given the level in the Premier League. We also reached a European final, but I see what Jose Mourinho means when he says that his best achievement was getting his United side to 2nd in the league." Back to the present day, under fire Amorim has a chance to make it back-to-back victories this season over the coming week. United take on Real Sociedad in the Europa League on Thursday, ahead of a clash with Arsenal in the Premier League a few days later. Manchester United have been told former star Paul Pogba could aid Ruben Amorim's bid to salvage the Red Devils' season. Former United forward Louis Saha has revealed he would take Pogba back at Old Trafford in a heartbeat as the Frenchman prepares to make his return to football. The 31-year-old was allowed to begin training in January following his doping ban and can return to playing in March. Pogba received an 18-month ban after testing positive for non-endogenous testosterone in September 2023, and in November 2024, the midfielder parted ways with Juventus via mutual consent. That, according to Saha, leaves United with an opportunity they can take advantage of as they deal with a number of injuries. The former Fulham, Everton and Newcastle striker reckons a move could be mutually beneficial and that Pogba, in search of rejuvenating his career, could offer quality, confidence, leadership and a guarantee for United head coach Amorim as his side languishes in the Premier League. "Yes, I would take Paul Pogba back at Manchester United in a heartbeat," Pogba told best betting sites. "It's not only because of the squad that we have now with injuries and all that, but for all the elements that he brings as a player. We need guarantees, we need quality, we need confidence, we need leadership, and this guy now has an opportunity to show how much he wants it. Pogba can show he has the ability to be one of the best in the league in this position, especially with the motivation and the focus that he has to understand where he can improve and what parts of his game he needs to adapt. Pogba has to focus on himself and think, all those things that I've done in the past, I should not do anymore. It's an opportunity to sign someone who is highly motivated. He's going to obviously still have huge confidence about his ability. I'm sure that when he looks at this midfield at United, he has a different type of vibe in his game. So definitely it's an easy fit. I think that he will communicate with the manager. He would be humble after the situation. He's been injured. He's been banned. I'm sure Pogba wants the visibility. He wants to go back to a French team as soon as possible, so he just needs to pick the right project. For him to get back into the national team, he needs to show that he can still do it at the top level. United would be signing a player that is completely dedicated and focused on achieving his goals, because he's been out of the game for so long. I'm sure that the most important thing for Pogba would be to show AMORIM and the Manchester United fans that he is still one of the best players in the world. He will want to show people how good he was and how good it can still be. I think it's a nice opportunity for the club and the player.